Hey guys, welcome to this episode of the TWNY podcast. Just a quick reminder that we are not professional medical personnel and TWNY is not a replacement for medical treatment. And as always, if you would like to be a guest on the podcast, head on over to our website at www.twny.life and reach out. I hope you enjoy the podcast, and remember, it's okay to not be okay.
Well, I've seen the devil's shadow underneath the moon. Keep that fire going, the sun is coming soon.
Got it.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Again. It's like we're back where we started. First podcast. Now it's what is this, like the 9th or I don't know, 8th or 9th or something like that. It's crazy.
Back where we started, man. Especially like you and me growing up. I mean, we liked each other, but like as much as you can like your own family, you know?
Yeah, I know. I never would have thought, honestly, never would have thought we'd be doing this. Truly.
No.
And
that makes two of us, bro.
Yeah. I'm thankful for it. I'm very happy about it. Like this has made a different person out of me in a good way. I've grown doing this, and I'm extremely thankful to be getting closer to my family. You know, you, Jesse, Dylan, Aunt Shelly, everybody is people I kind of grew distant from over a long period of time, and now we're getting back together. I'm really enjoying it, man.
Dude, totally. I feel 100% the same way. Like with me and my brother, I think later on in a podcast we might have to get him on here and talk about kind of the transformation that we had. Because to be honest with you, I hated that sucker for like I'm 30 years old. He's 27, 28. So I think I haven't liked him for about 27, 28 years.
Yeah. And now it's just, just good fortune is just bringing us all together.
One of my best friends now, like
that's awesome, man.
If there's one person that gets me, I mean, it's weird to say that, but it's my brother. Mm-hmm. And like, he actually knows how I feel because he feels the same way about a lot of it. So it's crazy how you push people out of your life, but then you get into a spot and life happens, and then all of a sudden you're just like, wow, we're a lot closer than we think. So,
yeah,
I'm not saying that is a good thing.
It's awesome that you mentioned having him on the podcast, because I kind of want people to know that some of the stuff that we do, that's kind of how it happens. We're just talking, and it's just like this idea just pops up, and we're like, hey, let's just run with it, because we're new to this stuff too.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I'm doing this podcast and everything, but I don't know the first thing about podcasting. I'm just making it happen. You know what I mean? And it's like, we're doing what we can.
You know what's going on with podcasting, though. I'll tell you that. Like this whole stuff that you got for this new season, man, oh man, dude, you look like you know what you're doing. So,
well, thank you.
Just keep rolling with it, bro.
I really appreciate it. Well, in that same vein, man, what's new? What are some of the stuff that, maybe, I mean, I know, this is more for the benefit of the listeners, but what are some of the stuff that we might have coming down the pipe for TWNY?
Boy, some of the stuff, like,
just some of it. We don't got to show our hand completely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of the stuff I know. So we've been a little bit distant. What we like to call it right now is we're in a hibernating spot. Mm-hmm. Like we've grown so much in just like, we haven't even hit the 1 year mark of TWNY yet. And it's already growing extremely out of hand. Great problem to have, by the way. But with the podcast, we got a lot of stuff going on with the podcast. A lot of people that are lined up and wanting to tell their story. And even when we started talking about asking questions, like I think that's a huge thing. That's what they're foreshadowing.
Definitely got a lot more questions than I was expecting right off the start. So that's good.
Right? Yeah. But I think a couple of the biggest things that we have going on right now is the clothing line. When we first did that, we kind of just threw it all together. Mm-hmm. And right now we're actually like firing on all cylinders, getting something that's really good. That's going to be coming out March 31st. Our whole new clothing line. We're going to have hats, shirts, and one of my favorite things that we got going on is sticker packs are going to be coming out. So, and these sticker packs, they are actually pretty legit sticker packs. It's not like your normal suicide awareness stuff. We have one sticker it's not in the pack. That one's going to be purchased separately, but in the sticker pack, it says, "It's okay to not be okay, asshole." And you know what? That's bold. And that's really like, we had a lot of meetings about this one saying, hey, this might not be the best idea, but I guess as they say in French, fuck it. Like we're gonna do this, and because we want to reach out to other people. So you know what, with these sticker packs, if it's not for you, I totally respect that. We do have stuff for you.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
We're not being insensitive to the people that don't want to have something that says asshole, but to all you people that do have that want to say it's okay to not be okay, asshole, that's where we came from.
And sometimes it speaks to people. You know, it speaks to a certain kind of person, and sometimes that's a benefit in and of itself when you can reach a population that you might not have reached before.
Exactly. And I think that's a population that in desperate need right now needs to be reached, because like, you know, the big manly men, and they're just like, I'm not going to talk about my feelings. I don't need to do it. You know what?
Yeah.
You can with me, because
we've been doing
the same stuff, and it doesn't make you any less of a man to say stuff. And I guess I'll just share two more things without fully showing our hand. But this year we've been in a lot of contact with talking to schools. We are going to, and obviously we probably can't sell the asshole merchandise in schools.
Yeah.
But we do feel like we can church it up and be able to have a couple of meetings in schools and assemblies, if that's even a thing with COVID anymore. We have a lot of irons in the fire right now working for that. And we have partnered with Tri-State Riders. It's a dirt bike and four-wheeler racing company. And we are going to have booths at all of the races that they're doing this year. We're sponsoring people in pageants that are doing like, I don't know how that world works. I definitely probably would like to get into it. Like, we're working with pageants where we're going to be able to have booths at these places. And we're also working with a veterans company as well, that they are doing a couple of suicide awareness shows, and we're going to be getting in with that. So it seems like we're a little bit slow right now, and that's because everybody on the team is working endlessly, and Alex can vouch for that. Like, we are at wit's end working as much as we can while we still have full-time jobs.
And this isn't our primary job, like you're just about to say. We have other jobs, but we are 100% like, we are firing on all cylinders with TWNY. It's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah, no, I'm really proud of how this has taken off. And guys, 2022, this is the time right now. Go get your popcorn, go get your candy and your drinks or whatever, and sit back down and watch this unfold, because 2022 is going to be a huge year for us.
Awesome, man. Well, you know, before we jump into kind of why we're here a little bit, and with the questions and stuff, you said something earlier today, we talked on the phone, and I just wanted to bring it up because I was like, man, that's some good food for thought, and it sounds pretty basic, but you said that, and I'm literally just saying this in case someone out there needs to hear it. You know what I mean? I liked it. You said, sometimes the thing you need to hear is not the thing that you want to hear. And I was like, man, it's pretty obvious. You know what I mean? And I'm sure a lot of people listening to this will be like, yeah, that's pretty obvious. But sometimes that's a good reminder, I think. Yeah. So I really like that, man.
Yeah, man. It's super easy to say that. Like, okay, right now I'm feeling good today. All right. It seems like you're feeling good today.
I'm doing pretty good.
Shirt and I'm wearing my co-shirt. So we're feeling good today. And it's easy to say that now. It's easy to say, man, you know what? I want people to be tough with me. I want people to say something that maybe I don't want to hear, but I need to hear. But when you're in the spot where you're just like, all that I want you to say right now is what I want you to say. Like, just like put a stamp on it and say, hey, I approve of what you're doing. But a couple months down the road, that's when you look at it and say, you know what? That's not what I want. What I want is I want you to be real with me. If there's something that's wrong with me and that I'm not saying what you want me to say or doing what I want you to do, you know what? Say it. Like, I'm a man enough. I was raised up that I could take a good butt chewing. So give it to me and give it to me straight. Like, I want real people. I don't want fake people in my life. And
for sure.
Yeah, I think that's good. Well, I said it, so it must have been, right?
Yeah, exactly. Straight from the horse's mouth.
Hey, yeah.
So why are we here, man?
Why are we here? Well, we like Alex said, we have a lot of questions that are coming in. We did not
Yeah.
think we were going to get this many questions coming into it. We kind of thought we'd get to answer like 2 or 3 questions, but it seems like there's a lot of questions. And
Yeah.
to preface this, I would like to say, if you guys have a question that has to do with suicide awareness or doesn't have to do with suicide awareness, you just want us to answer it, email that to atelk@twny.life.
Yep.
And we'll do our best to answer it. I don't even think that we're gonna today. I don't think we're gonna even get to probably half.
I don't even think we'll get to all of them.
And there's a lot of them. But when we're answering these, what I do want to say too. So for one, thank you for sending the questions. It's huge that you're letting me and Alex get to talk to these for you guys. But second, what we're gonna say today, it's not always gonna be right. Okay,
Yeah.
like. I really want you to know that.
Like you're saying that.
if you know us good enough, what we're saying today, it might not be right, and take it with a grain of salt. Maybe we're going to say something that could really help you out, but also maybe we're going to be completely off the wall with that. And just give us a little grace. All right. We're people too. We're not licensed therapists.
Nope.
We're probably not even qualified to answer your questions, but we respect the heck out of you guys that you're making us responsible to answer these questions.
Yeah, and it's I enjoy interacting with people. I think this is one of the reasons why I love doing this is to be able to interact with people in person and people on the internet. So, and on top of what he said with emailing me, I know some people don't like to email. Sometimes I feel like email is going out of date. Sometimes I feel like it's not. I don't know. It just seems like one of those things that's just been kind of hanging out there for years. It hasn't gone up or down. Yeah. But feel free to, you could probably message us on any of our social media. We got Instagram, we got Facebook, and for the YouTube folks out there, I'm a big YouTube person. So if you want to drop a comment.
You look like a big YouTube person.
Hey, thank you. I don't know if I'm going to take that as a compliment or not. We'll see how the day goes. Okay. But if you, any of you YouTube folks out there, if you want to drop a comment in the YouTube comments to ask a question, that's perfectly fine too, and we'll and definitely be looking at those. Yeah. So, but hey, I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and start, man.
You ready to get into this?
Yeah, man. All right, let's see here. Let me start with here's one. Okay.
You got an easy one?
I got an easy one. All right. So some of these are anonymous. Some people didn't want their names read out, so that's totally fine. That's no problem. So this is one of those. Do you guys hold events or fundraisers?
Yes.
That's the plan. Do. That's and we have done some stuff like that too.
We've done a couple of them, and we're gearing up right now to do a bunch of them. I think I went over it just a little bit over. So whoever asked that question, like, you're above the game. And yes, 2022 is going to be a big year with a bunch of events, a lot of fundraisers, and we finally got the right people in the right places that are going to let you guys be able to know about that. So
it's going to be sweet, man. And like, I was part of and I wasn't part of the fundraiser itself, which is, and I guess kind of ironic, but I ran half marathon with my wife and her sister, and they were raising money for TWNY. We were able to provide them with like some cool running gear and stuff like that to kind of show support. And then we were doing I think we were doing GoFundMe, right? I mean, we might move and do something different, but as of right now, we are currently doing things like that. So be on the lookout.
And shout out to those girls too. Like, holy crap! Like Stephanie and Madeline, if you guys are listening to this, like, you guys, from the bottom of my heart and everybody at TWNY, you have no idea how big of an impact you guys made on us and on that, and
raised a lot of money. And thank you to all the people who, because I mean, I know some of the people who donated, because it shows the names, and I know some of them were listeners and supporters that we know. Thank you so much for donating.
And just to piggyback off of that, with the people that donated and with Stephanie and Madeline opening this up and wanting to do this, I want you guys to know that the money that you guys raised, that's what's going forward for us to be able to do all these other events and to be able to get out there a lot more and to like have our team at these events being able to speak to people and talk to people. And so like if you guys are somewhere in the area and you guys see us at an event, come up and talk to us. Like we love to talk to you. How we are on the podcast is how we are in real life. And
Yeah.
I love that. But
yeah, I mean, just also off of that, what they did was incredible too. I got to say that they ran, it was like 48 miles or something like that.
I
It
don't
was
think I
insane.
could run a mile. Like
over a
sometimes I
weekend.
get coming up the stairs. So
Yeah,
they
I mean,
did like
yeah. Sometimes like if I get too excited, I get winded. So I mean, I feel like you know what I mean.
You gotta sit down and calm down a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
No, I get that. Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Switch over to some of the emails. Let's see. All right. Here's one. So this is Lincoln from Toronto, Canada.
Toronto,
absolutely.
Canada now.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you got to see the analytics of the places we're reaching. It's wild.
Are you serious? Canada, dude. I can't even.
So Lincoln asks, how do you support a friend that has suicidal thoughts, but you've never experienced that before?
Wow.
Yeah, that's, I guess I can go ahead and start on that one because, I've been really depressed in my life. And I have, I've dealt with anxiety, I've dealt with depression, I've dealt with, a whole slew of things that's kept me up at night, that's stressed me out to the point where, I grind my teeth. You know what I mean? I'm grinding my teeth down at night because I'm stressed so much. There's been times where I have thought about it, but never to a very serious extreme. So I think I can kind of answer this to a degree. And let me look at that again just to make sure I'm getting my thoughts in the right order here. What I would do is don't change who you are. Like as soon as someone, like if someone's coming up to you and they tell you something like, hey man, I'm feeling suicidal, or you're kind of seeing it and you're like, hey dude, are you okay? Like, how are you feeling right now? Are you feeling like killing yourself? You know, I mean, if you're going to be that upfront about it, and they go, yeah, man, I've been there. And that's kind of what I'm feeling right now. Don't change who you are. Don't all of a sudden go into like paramedic mode. You know what I mean? Needing to stop the bleeding right away. Just like, just be the friend that you have always been, or be that person that you have always been, because they're not looking for someone to just go into full panic mode. I don't think I wouldn't be wanting that.
And I completely agree with you. I like that, maybe we're related or something.
Yeah, it's weird.
Maybe we're related or something, but there's a reason that this person is your friend. Like there is a reason that they felt confident enough to come up to you and to talk to you about that stuff. And if they're feeling that way, they don't want you to be someone that you're not. And I think that's a place that we all go to when you hear something crazy like that. You're like, I got to change everything. And I got to say the church answer. I got to say the answer to this is no, there's a reason that they came to you about that, and be real, be like, just talk to them, be with them. Like, I mean, I had a guy that reached out to us, and he was actually on the podcast as well, but he reached out to us and he told me a lot of his stories, and I didn't sugarcoat it. That's not who I am. And I was just like, look, man, you're feeling like this. Like, why are you feeling like this? And helping him give a little bit of insight. But when they ask your opinion, that's when you can give it to them. I think the worst thing that you could do is if you have a friend that's going through it and they don't feel comfortable enough to talk to you about that. I'm not saying like, you know what, somebody else will take care of it. You go for it. What I'm saying is the worst thing from what I've seen is an unsolicited opinion. And if you are this person that's like, hey, you need to change your life, I'm not going to react good to that. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm stubborn and hard-headed, but like if someone comes up to me and says, you know what you need to change in your life? You know what I'm going to say? Screw off. No. I'm going to do the complete opposite of whatever you're saying. But if I'm comfortable enough to you to come up and ask you and talk to you and generate that conversation, that means they're wanting me. They're not wanting some churched up version of me. They're not wanting me to give them an answer that I Googled off of a suicide awareness post or something. They're wanting me to give what I think and what I'm talking about. And I think that's the best you could do is just be there.
Well, and also just, on the other side of that, if you are the kind of person to jump into action and help, and they come to you and they're like, "Hey, this is what I'm feeling," then it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Don't change who you are. If you're the kind of person to jump into action and help, then jump into action and help. Just be the same person and don't change completely, because I feel like that's just gonna I would feel isolated if you change, because I'd be like, oh shit, am I losing my friend now? Does he think of me differently?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I don't want that.
No.
All right. There you go, Lincoln. I hope that helps. And stay warm.
Shout out warm. To Canada. Get us some more Canadians on here.
Stay warm in Canada.
Yeah.
I like your syrup.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Back when I used to be a fan of hockey, right?
Yeah.
And but I know nothing about the sport, honestly. But I just remember liking like the Toronto Maple Leafs, because I was like, oh, they must be good at hockey, so they're going to be my favorite team.
I liked the Vancouver Canucks. Like, I don't know why, but dude, they have a killer whale as their logo. And I'm just all like, that's cool. Like, I'm a big logo person.
Yeah, well, and everyone's going to see that too when these new shirts and stuff come out.
Right.
Okay, let's see here. Another easy one. Brad. He gave us his age too. Brad, 22, from Los Angeles, California.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Where is one destination that you would travel to?
Oh, Bora Bora, hands down.
Bora Bora. I was not even. You could have given me like 1.5 million guesses, and that's not what I thought you would say.
You wouldn't have thought that. You'd have thought like Montana or something. Dude, I love the mountains, but I grew up in the mountains. I've seen pretty mountains all day. Like, you give me a beach and like pretty little cocktail waitress and stuff that's always keeping me like, and that blue water, dude. I think it's Bora Bora. Is that the one with the
like I said, I'm about to show my ass here, dude, but I don't know where Bora Bora is.
Oh, I don't either. I could Google it, but
yeah, I'm gonna just real quick, because I'm quick. Bora Bora.
It's pretty.
Northwest of Tahiti. All right. For me, I would have to say someplace. I think I would like to go to Egypt. I think I would like to do that. I think, and my wife and I, we're kind of fans of that kind of aesthetic. You know what I mean? The like Egyptian stuff, and I'd really like to see that. Like to see the pyramids and see that culture a little bit. Another place would be Port Royal in Jamaica, just because half the city is underwater. So I think that'd be really cool too.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Like the actual city's underwater?
Yeah, there was a gigantic like earthquake back when Port Royal was like a pirate town. Yep, and it sunk half the city.
Yeah.
They used to think it was like, God punishing the city for being full of sin. So that's kind of how that happened.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll go to Bora Bora and you go to Egypt.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Question,
Brad. We'll FaceTime from both of them.
Yeah. To Brad too. Brad, if you're reading this, text us over your stuff. We're gonna send you pictures. We're gonna book flights tonight. So.
All right. Jed from Kennedy, Texas.
Jed, I like it.
Jed from Texas. Nice. All right. I thought I'd be farther along. In parentheses, married with 2 kids in a house. By the time I turn 30. I'm nowhere close to those things, and I turn 30 in a couple months. Should I just focus on my career and climb the corporate ladder, or try finding someone on a dating app? I feel like I should be more / have more at my age.
Ooh.
Hey, Daryl, you're older than me. How about you answer this question?
Yeah, I mean, boy, oh boy. To be honest with you, Jed from Texas, that is a tough thing to give advice about, because I don't think like no two situations are ever the same. Like whatever you're going with, like I could tell you, dude, no, go dating and do that. But what I would say is I get that, thinking that you are going to be farther along in life than you are right now. Mm-hmm. I have been there, and I'm speaking, I guess I shouldn't say been, I am there. Like, yeah, I feel like I should be married. I feel like I should be happy and be in a house and everything. But to be honest with you, there's a lot of things that I also feel like I'm not ready for in life. Like, and with me saying that there's no two situations that are ever the same, um, wait it out, man. I would say from personal experience, don't go on a dating app, especially if you're following TWNY and you've ever been depressed in your life. That is going to be the one thing that's going to set you down 1,000 times more, because yeah, maybe I'm just, I got a face for radio or something and I'm not pretty enough, but like dating apps, man, they just always made me feel the worst about myself. As far as like climbing the corporate ladder and stuff, go out there and do what you're doing. Be the best person that you are. And if you're at your job, be that best person that you can be. Be irreplaceable. And that's going to bleed over into the other stuff. I know it sounds super cliche that, oh, you know, if you're doing what you're doing in life and you're happy with it, the right person will come along. That's what I have to wake up and I have to tell myself every day too. I feel like what I'm doing, and I feel like I'm the person in the mirror looking, and I'm actually happy and proud of the person that I see nowadays. And that doesn't mean that, like, I walked outside and there was some girl walking her dog while I was walking my dog, and we're just like, let's have a bunch of kids and get a house together. And it just was like a super, I think, we watch movies and we think that this is how it happens, but it doesn't. Like, and it's easy to get discouraged with that. And Jed, what I'd say is keep doing what you're doing, man. Like, it will happen when it is supposed to, and it sounds dumb, and your mind is going to convince you a million times that it's not. But you keep being the person that you're happy with, walking in the same circles that you're walking with, and be this person that's irreplaceable at your job. So my answer is do both. Keep your eyes open, but keep your eyes open for the right person that's going to come around and walk life parallel with you instead of going in a different direction. Like, go ahead.
And I would jump in and I would just say that be careful doing something, making huge life choices because you feel like you should. I went to college, right? I went to college because I felt like I needed to. I was, you know, and this is through no fault of anyone who was telling me about it, because there was a shift in what was important for a young person going into adulthood, what they were going to need to be successful. It used to be you would need college. You 100% needed college. And so that's kind of what I was pushed through some of my family members. It was like, hey, you need to go to college. You need to go to college. And that mantra, that's why I went to college, because I felt like I needed to. I get to college. I waste a whole year of college money, college education, partying, drinking, and, you know, partially irritated because I'm there not doing what I wanted to do. Then after that, I joined the military because what I wanted to do. I advance in the military and I do better and better for myself there, doing the things that I want to do, what I'm passionate about. And then, you know, in the middle of doing what I was passionate about, I reconnected with somebody by pure happenstance, and that person happens to be my wife now. You know what I mean? And then now she's supportive. It is. It's a love story.
I say that it doesn't happen like on the movie, but you know, I might shed a tear now because of this.
Oh, thank you. But you get what I'm saying, though. It's you don't want to just do things because you feel like you should. Make sure it's what's right for you and what you actually want to do. And I also hesitate to say it like that, because it's like, you know, if you want to go out and do heroin, you probably shouldn't be jumping out and doing that. But you know what I mean? Like, within reason. Jed, you're probably a smart guy from Texas, so I think you understand what I'm saying there.
Yeah, especially if it's not from Austin. Like, But so I guess piggybacking on what you were just saying with that, it made me think of something that when you're trying to find somebody, we made a post a couple of weeks ago, actually, and it says, believe in yourself. And it's in 2 different colors. I hope you guys like the design, the greatness behind it, but it says, believe in yourself. And in a different color, it says, be you. Like, you could get so convinced, and I might be going off of a rabbit trail here, Jed, but I get so convinced that when I get into a relationship, I have to be exactly what they want. And you're never going to be able to add up to that pressure if you're not going to be who you are and believe in you. And it takes that time and it takes that singleness. And when you find somebody that's going there, what I said about finding someone that's running parallel with you, like, it's going to happen. Okay. I believe it with 100% of my heart. And if it doesn't, then Jed, you know what? Come back to me in 30 years and tell me how bad of a person that I was for telling you this right now. But imagine it like this. You're driving down the road and you're worried, hey, I'm going to miss somebody in my life. And you're heading one way, they're heading the other way. And you think, if I don't turn my lights on bright so that they notice me, or honk, or do something so that this person notices me, and they're flying so far in the other direction that it's not even funny. You need to find somebody that comes up and parallels you. Somebody that drives up and it's just like, hey, you're at a stoplight, and they're like, hey, where are you going? You're going, I'm heading east. And they're like, me too. Let's go together. And you just build off of that. Like, it's not this like crazy magic where you're running and then you trip in the Central Park and you're like on top of them and you're just like, oh my God, this is the person that I am with for the rest of my life. No, you're going to find somebody, and it's going to take work. But if you believe in yourself and you don't stray away from that and you don't fall away from who you are, you're going to be set, man. Somebody's going to like you for you. At least that's what I, tell myself. But
exactly.
Awesome.
Set yourself up for the best future by making yourself the best person that can be available for someone.
Absolutely. Jed, that was a good question. I'm glad that you reached out to us.
Hey, Jed, that was a really great question. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a break. I'm going to shoot you guys over to our sponsor. We have a sponsor, and that's BetterHelp. And I'm going to jump into it.
Hey, guys. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Without a healthy mind and being truly at peace, it's hard. And the good news is that therapy works. But what is therapy exactly? It's whatever you want it to be. Maybe you're not feeling motivated right now and would like some tools or some help, or maybe you're feeling insecure in relationships or at work, or not dealing with the stress of everyday life. Like, I get it. But whatever you need, it's time to stop being ashamed of the normal human struggles and start feeling better, because you deserve to be happy. And now you don't have to worry about finding an in-person therapist near you. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist. So you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. And it's much more affordable than in-person therapy. And you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. Guys, that's huge. Join the millions of people who are seeing what online therapy is about. It's always a good time to invest in yourself. And because you are your greatest asset. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and TWNY listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/TWNY. That's betterhelp.com/TWNY. Let's get back to it, guys.
All right, we're back. On to the next few questions here. Just going to do a few more. Let's see here. Okay. So you pick. I'm going to let you pick. I'm going to give you two.
And then you're so sweet, dude. Thank you. I feel so included.
Yeah. Thanks, boss.
Yeah, man.
All right. So we have Sam from Texas.
Okay.
All right. And then we have someone who also wants to remain anonymous, but they're from right here in Georgia. So you get to pick.
Ooh, I don't know if I really want to give you the satisfaction of someone from Georgia. And like, we've been rolling with this Texas. Jed had a really good question. So I would say, let's go with Sam from Texas.
Okay. All right. Sam from Texas asks, is there a way I can share my story anonymously? So great question. And I'm going to jump in and answer this one because you and I actually had to talk about this. Because I had actually had a conversation with my brother-in-law. Well, I shouldn't say brother-in-law, they're not married, but hey,
you're foreshadowing.
I'm foreshadowing here, but had a conversation with him, and he suggested doing that not everyone might not want to come on the podcast, and they might not be comfortable with it, but they might have an important story to share. So I was kind of thinking, and we were kind of thinking too, we were talking about it, maybe having some way where someone can share their story, and then we can kind of have something like this where we read it out we talk about it.
No, I think that would be a great idea. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know how impactful your story is. So, I mean, now if we get a story, we probably know that it's Sam from Texas.
Yeah.
So you already messed up the anonymous thing there, man. That's
awesome. So, Sam, what we'll do is if we get a whole bunch, we'll throw you in there in the middle of the pile. So yeah.
We'll let you go
as anonymous
third
as
or
possible.
fourth, or like we can't give it away, but we'll keep it as anonymous. But I mean, I think that's a good idea. You know, the podcast and being the center of attention, that's not for everybody. It's obviously for us. You guys probably know that about us. We kind of like the exposure, but for those of you that don't, by all means, we like send your story in and say, hey, I would like to tell my story, but I don't want to share it, or I'm not strong enough to share it right now. And I don't say that as like, you weak, dog. Like what I'm saying is like, you know, there are people that don't feel comfortable sharing their story, and even thinking, hey, I might not be able to get through this story because I'm going to break down and cry and be a mess the whole time. But if you can type that out and you want us to share that, and you want it to stay anonymous, or if you want us to say your name, like there's no rhyme or reason to what's going on here. And we would love to do that.
Well, and you're absolutely right. I was in Disney World, and I was in Orlando, and we were at the hotel that we were at, or it was like an Airbnb type place, like closed in location. They had a poolside bar, and I was sitting there, and the lady that was serving there had a cool tattoo, and someone struck up a conversation about it, but it just happened to be a memorial for a friend who had committed suicide. Not even, I mean, it had been maybe a month or two from that date. And I was like, well, you know, hey, I'll ask her and I'll talk to her about what we do at TWNY if she wants to, you know, share this story and all that kind of stuff. And it was that kind of thing where she's like, I just don't want to. It's not that she, well, it's not that she didn't want to, is that she wasn't comfortable like getting on there and talking about all this stuff and really just putting herself out there. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, you know, you don't know how they're going to react when they start telling these stories. And I think they can be kind of nervous about that. And that's completely fine.
Yeah. It's okay to not be okay.
It's okay to not be okay.
Yeah. Asshole. Yeah.
Oh man. Buy the stickers.
Yeah. Buy them. Sticker plug right here. I'll put it right here.
It's really funny. You actually brought up the stickers. Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
It's really funny you brought up the stickers because I've literally had 2 people ask me about getting stickers that don't know that we're doing that. Like,
really?
Yeah. That's not even a joke, dude. I've literally had 2 people come up and be all like, hey, you know what you guys should do? That was the first one, was you should have like a bunch of stickers that people can like put on their cars, on their phones or whatever. And then someone was all like, hey, do you guys have stickers?
Dude, that's awesome. We actually, right when I got home, so I was at my daughter's soccer game, and I was like, I got to get here for this podcast, and I think I was 5 minutes late. So don't ever be late, all right?
Yeah.
It doesn't look good, but if you're the boss, you can do it.
Don't worry, we'll discuss it at the next meeting.
That's fine. Yeah. That's totally fine. But I rushed into the door, and I have the actual sticker packs that, like, all of the stickers are already here, and we are excited to get like running on them. They are here in my possession right now, and by the time you guys are listening to this, if they're on the website, go and look at it. And if you don't, if they're not on the website, just keep checking every hour until they get on there. And
do nothing else with your life but check our website.
and send me messages. And like I said, I want you guys to be real. Send me messages and say, hey, asshole, where are these stickers at? You promised me them. Like, come on, I'm ready for them. So yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead, and this is the last question. All right, this is the last one we're doing.
Man, this is fun. This is fun.
Yeah. This is a good one. So, howdy. Here is my question. I struggle with emptiness since the death of a couple family members over a 7-month period. And I am just going through the motions of everyday life. Do you have any ideas on how a person can join life again?
Whew. It's a really good question. And that's anonymous one?
Yes. Yep.
Wow. That's tough. That's really tough.
And what I want to say, first of all, I'm sorry to hear about that. I really am. It hits close to home for me too. And I don't know how to do that. I feel like I'm kind of doing the best I can with the same thing. With what I'm doing here. And that's the best I can do, I don't know. I mean, what do you got, Daryl? This one was harder for me. So
honestly, I think you and me both are in the same boat as Anonymous on this, and it is 100% tough. And I guess the only way that I can answer this is to tell you what I did, and hopefully you can get a little piece out of this. And I'm not saying that I'm fully over everything that has happened, because I'm not, and I don't think that you ever will be. When you lose, when you lose one family member, it leaves such a hole in your life that it knocks you on your ass. But when you lose two in a 7-month span, or 3 or 4, however many of you listeners out there have lost, it really just, it feels like you have a bunch of rocks that are sitting on top of you, and you don't want to do anything. You get home from work, and I mean, so this is, I guess, my story with it is I would get home from work, and it took everything that I had in me to get up off of the couch, to shower, to even get up to go to bed. I would wake up so many days, like work days. It's like 1 a.m. and I wake up on the couch, and I was just like, that's the only time that I could muster up enough energy to go to bed. And that happened for quite a few months, I guess. And then I said, I got to change something. And when in my head, I said, hey, I got to change something, that meant I needed to change everything. I wanted nothing more. And you can ask the people that were really, really close with me. What I asked was, I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave Colorado. I'm going to go to Nacogdoches, Texas, because Nacogdoches sounded really fun to say. There was nothing, I don't know anything else in Nacogdoches, but it was just really fun to say. And I needed something in my life to change so bad that I wanted to change all of that, hit the reset button, and act like I wasn't going to think about it anymore, and try to pretend that I was okay and restart, because that would keep my mind off of stuff. And honestly, I don't think that's the way to deal with it. And I see that now. It actually happened earlier this week, where I really feel like I hit rock bottom with it, and everything was kind of hitting me at once. Like, hey, yeah, we run a suicide awareness nonprofit, but I still have so many people that struggle with it, and so many people that are close to me with it. And I don't know what to do with this. And then assessing, hey, what is the real problem here? Like, what is the stuff? Like, I'm sure that in everybody's life, there's always something that does need to change. Like, there's always something that's small that you could be doing better. And what I found was something really small that was in me that was like, that's it. That's the one thing that I need to change, that I could kind of get out of this funk. And like I said, it's been really fresh, and I'm expecting another downhill roller coaster here soon, I'm sure. And that's probably just given how 2021 was for me. But like, I'm on a spot right now where it's just like a little bit empowered, and I believe in myself, and I know what I need to fix and how I need to fix it. And I got kind of a game plan about that. And that got me excited, and it brought a little bit of life in me. But it also was something that somebody told me. It was one of my really close friends, and I was talking to them, and I said, I don't know. I'm just gonna move. I'm gonna leave everything, and I'm just gonna move, because I can't handle it anymore. And what he said to me was, if you feel like you can't handle something, I'm going to read this. I got it on my phone here because it was so good I had to write it down. But it said, if you ever think that you can't handle something, try remembering all the things that you have done.
Mm.
And it sounds crazy, but once you get it, you get it. And once it's like, okay, no, we did make the best out of a complete shit situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is we did the best that we could and what made us feel better about stuff, and we ran with it and never looked back. And people see that and people move with it, but it doesn't matter what anybody else is saying. What it matters is how you feel inside. And no matter how many times I tell you something or think about something or tell you what you could be doing better in your life, I'm never going to be able to fix myself, or I'm never going to be able to fix you. The only person that I'm responsible for being able to fix is myself. And I'm not saying, Anonymous, that you need to be fixed. What I'm saying is maybe you're in that spot right now and embrace it. Notice like, hey, look, I'm not who I am. And once you get fed up with that and say, this isn't who I am. This isn't who I am anymore. All right. It's so hard for me to clean the house. I'm the same way. I'm extremely OCD. And there's been days that I get home and my house is a disaster and it's just blown up. And I'm just like, I don't even care. I'm not going to do it. But that's not who I am. And once I can find, okay, this is something that I've never really liked, I'm going to go all in on this and fix this about me. And then you start seeing all those other things in life that who you are, you get kicked onto autopilot. Like once I started getting happy with that, then all of a sudden my dishwasher must have just unloaded itself and everything cleaned itself out and I vacuumed and I was actually happy. And then when all of this stuff in my life was kind of back in order where I felt comfortable, then I was like, wow, I see how this, it sounds so dumb and so cliche, but having this positive mental attitude where you're just like, I'm not going to do this anymore. This isn't who I am. And I'm not going to be this person anymore. And damn it, I'm going to do it and get a little bit mad about it. Get a little bit, hey, I'm going to fix this. Nobody's going to fix it for me. I'm going to just do it. And once you get out of that, you never forget. You're never going to forget what you lost. And there's always going to be days that, you know, a song comes on the radio and you're just like, I wish I could send this to this person, but they're not here anymore. Or, you know, I lost my grandpa this year, same grandpa as you. And I know opening day of hunting season next year is going to be really hard for me. We have a family hunting trip coming up here too, that all the family is going to be there, but he's not. And it's going to be hard, but the good news is you're not alone. You're not alone in what you're doing this with. And everybody at this family hunting trip is going to be feeling the same way. But what we can do is, instead of looking at it as a bad thing, because it's bad, death sucks. Like, I hate it. But looking at it through a different light and being like, if it wasn't for this guy, if it wasn't for Grandpa, TWNY wouldn't be here. Honest to God. If Grandma and Grandpa didn't ever get together, we wouldn't be in this.
Yeah, from a very biological standpoint, we would not be here.
And from such a little tiny speck of life, that this thing happened and this thing happened. And if this didn't happen, like I'm in the dating world right now and everybody asks, they're like, what's one thing that you would change about your life? 100%, absolutely nothing for me. Because now I can look at it and say, all of this stuff happened for a reason. You just got to find it. And once you do find it, it might take 2 days, Anonymous, but it might also take 5 years. It might take 20 years to find it. But once you find it, you can look back and say, look at this. I mean, let's go back to the reason that we started TWNY was when my sister committed suicide. And when that happened, we started this, and she didn't know at the time the impact that would have had on everybody, and not just our family. That has on everybody listening to this podcast, everybody that stumbles across our Facebook, our Instagram, our website, that buys stickers, that buys hats, that buys whatever. And we can kind of see that. And does that make it suck? Like, I mean, if I'm going to be honest with you, if I could have my sister back, but I have to give up TWNY, by all means. Like,
well, yeah,
I would rather have these people back in my life so that this would never be a thing. But that's not the way life works. The way that life works is how it's working right now. And this impact that she's had from it, we are changing people's lives. by saying some of this small stuff that we don't know how to say.
I mean, I mean, I really couldn't have said it better myself when it comes to that question and answering that. Everything you said is awesome. If I was to add something, like just another thing for anonymous here, your goal, if your goal is to re-enter life and reintegrate yourself into life as normal as you possibly can after something like this happens to you, a way that you can go about it is just like any other goal. If you have the goal of losing weight, if you have the goal of building muscle, if you have the goal of quitting smoking, it's not something that you can just, go to the next football game with your buddies right off the bat and be like, oh, I'm good. You can't do that. You got to do it one step at a time, one small victory at a time. And even if that victory is waking up in the morning and making your bed.
Exactly.
If that's your victory for the day, you're chipping away at that gigantic boulder that's on your chest right now.
Yeah.
And every bit that you chip off is a little bit of weight off. But eventually, with these small steps, sometimes they might even be larger steps, and you get a lot more of that boulder off. But once you keep building up that momentum, you'll get to it. I have full confidence, and also, like Daryl said, I am a big believer of this. This is something that I will teach my children. A positive mental attitude, I personally believe, can get you through literally anything. I do believe that a positive mental attitude can get you through any possible situation in life. So that's what I would have to say. And thanks, Anonymous, for your question. And I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry too. And the question I guess I want to ask you, Alex, is what's the best way to eat an elephant?
Yeah, I know it. I'm trying to one bite at a time, right?
One bite at a time, man.
One bite at a time. Yep. But Grandpa Telk would have told you the actual best way to eat an elephant. And it's like he'd have some story about how he cuts the leg off and buries it in the ground for 10 years and whatever.
Yeah. No, I mean, that man, his stories. Have you ever heard the story about when he killed a bear with a 380?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, everybody has. Like anybody that's ever met that man knows that there was a time that he killed a bear with a 380. And I think I could say it exactly how he said it, even with the lick lip that he did, where you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Did I ever kill you? Anyways, yeah, there it is. But no, I mean, the best way, Anonymous, the last thing that I want to say about that, the best way to eat an elephant is one step at a time. You're not going to be better tomorrow. There's not a pill that going with what Alex said, that you're going to be able to wake up and you're going to everything's going to just be fine. Mm-hmm. But there are going to be little things that people say to you and little things that can help you and really get you to feel empowered. And when you're on those empowered tops, ride them. Like with what Alex said, maybe today I'm really hungry and I'm going to eat 3 bites of this elephant, but tomorrow I only have the appetite for half. And ride those when you're on top, ride them. Feel how you feel. It's okay. It's okay to not be okay. We keep saying this and going back to like our main mantra, but when you're down in the bottom, just know that you're not alone with it and know that you're not isolated. And I think that's a big 100%. Place where a lot of people get to, where they're just like, I'm the only one that feels like this. And I don't even know who I can talk to. And to be honest with you, I don't discredit the fact that you don't know who you could talk to. Mm-hmm. But what I am saying is that's bullshit. There is somebody that you can talk to, and there's somebody that you might want to talk to, but you don't know how they're going to react to it. And don't come up with what they're going to say in your head. Yeah. Like, I'm really bad about that. Like, I'm just like, I could talk to Alex about this, but this is what he's going to say. So I'm just going to roll with it. This is what he says. And then when I call him, he says something completely off the wall that doesn't even like match at all what pre-notions I had in my head about it. So
don't set yourself up for failure. I mean, just that's the positive mental attitude thing. I mean, go into it with a positive attitude, and it might not turn out the way you want it, but if you go into it with a negative attitude, it most certainly will turn out the way that you're thinking it will. So
yeah. Get into existence. So yeah, Anonymous, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for such a deep question, and thank you for being vulnerable with us.
So Daryl, thank you for coming on the podcast again. And I want to ask everyone, anyone who's listening, shoot us a message. Tell us if you like what we're doing here. Obviously, we want the feedback. If you don't like it, we're probably still going to do it.
Still tell us about it, though, because
it'll still tell us about it.
So if you got some negative feedback, by all means, we want to hear it.
But let us know if you like this kind of format too. We'll definitely be doing more of these questions. Sounds like we're going to have Daryl and Jesse on at the same time at some point. So be on the lookout for that podcast.
Yeah.
All right, man.
So, all right, dude. Hey, thanks. Appreciate being here.
Love you.
Love you, man.
Walk through the ashes, search for brighter days.
Hey, thanks for listening. If you haven't yet, check out our shop at www.twny.life. We have sweaters, shirts, hats, and much more. Stay strong out there, because this world needs you. And I'll see you next time.
Because of me, because of time, and what's in life, because of you, because of you.